Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna
Madhava Kunja Vihari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Prajajana Ranjana Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Nittai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nittai Gaura Hari Bol Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parikacharya Stotha to Shrimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parikacharya Stotha to Shrimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda Ki Jai. ISKCON founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Prem se Gaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Shadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Gopinath Shamakunda Radha Kundagiri Govardhan Ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai, Shri Maya Pradam Ki Jai, Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai, Ganga Mai Ki Jai, Yamuna Mai Ki Jai, Tulsi Devi Ki Jai, Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Sri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai, Samavita Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Nitai Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bol. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Hare Krishna. I would request devotees, especially the women, to come closer. Come closer. I don't know why we tend to hide in the corner. This is an equal opportunity employer temple. You don't have to hide because Krishna wants to see these devotees. He can't see from a distance, so please come closer. And plus, the closer we are, the sweeter it is, actually. The further we are, then it's like separation. So please, men too, please. I haven't forgotten the men, so don't worry. Come closer. So today's topic is the conclusion of the Bhagavad Gita. And we will be referring to Bhagavad Gita, the famous verse, 1866. And yeah, a little bit on this side. Mano, please. Higher. Thank you. And when we read the Bhagavad Gita, sometimes we think that it's a conversation between Krishna and Arjuna. Therefore, a little bit low. Girls, a little bit. Tad. Bus. Thank you. Sometimes we forget to know that the Lord is speaking through me, to me. The Lord is speaking directly to me. In fact, I was reading a very nice quote by His Grace Mahatma Prabhu, who was a very proper disciple. He said that when we read Bhagavad Gita, we should understand that Krishna is speaking to me, not only to Arjuna. Arjuna is there. He's it's like a movie, Arjuna is one of the cast in the movie. He's a crew in the movie, cast crew. So when we read the Bhagavad Gita, we have to really understand what is the Lord really, really telling me. And if we come to the conclusion of the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is telling Arjuna to surrender. Just give up everything. Just surrender. And then we ask ourselves, okay, but is the Bhagavad Gita that is endorsing Bhakti Yoga, is it only meant for Arjuna or is it for us? We sometimes kind of forget that, because when we read the Bhagavad Gita, we just caught up Krishna and Arjuna, Krishna and Arjuna, Krishna and Arjuna, right? But then we forget, now what is the message in there for me? So the Bhagavad Gita, we have to ask ourselves, is this only meant for Arjuna or is it meant for all students of Bhagavad Gita? And we are all students of Bhagavad Gita. We should never think that we have aced it. We should never think that we have, mastered it. Because if we think we have, then we should be walking the talk. So we should never think that. We should always think that we are trying to do better each day. And the Gita doesn't only contain a demarcation points that, okay, the certain part of the Bhagavad Gita is for me and the other part is for Arjuna. Sometimes we think that. That is just how the mind works. Say, no, this is not for me. This is for Arjuna. The next verse, yeah, that is for me. Then we'll say, no, that's not for me. We tend to draw a demarcation line that the certain verses of Bhagavad Gita is not for me, and the certain verses is for Arjuna, or probably 90% is for Arjuna, 10% is for me, or vice versa. It's for everyone. Krishna spoke the Bhagavad Gita for everyone, for all of us, for us to really grow. Where is that's Achyut. Okay, your partner ditched you. So if we see the famous verse, 1866, right? The English translation is, abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. That is the conclusion of the Bhagavad Gita. And interestingly, it's titled The Sweet Surrender. When I was preparing for this class, I was asking myself, what is so sweet about it? Because giving up something is painful. Giving up our attachments, what we want, what we have been used to, what we have been doing all these years, it's not sweet. If we think about it, it's really a sacrifice. And sometimes sacrifice can be viewed as negative. Sometimes sacrifice can be viewed as like, oh my God, I'm feeling left out. Or it can be viewed as, man, do I have to give it up? If we think that, there's no sweetness in it. There isn't any sweetness in it. Then I started thinking, now how can we look at surrender being sweet? And Krishna's arrangement, majority of us in this temple are grihastas. None of us are brahmacharis or brahmacharinis, And if we think of grihastha life, there are many instances where we have to give up something to please our beloved. True? I'm sure we all have gone through that. Both husbands and wives, right? We have to give up something to please our beloved. We have to give up something to make our parents happy, right? I was watching this little YouTube video, something to do with parents and children. And it was a 3-minute video. And it was 3 different parents, and they were asked what were their ambition when they were in high school. And one said, I wanted to be an HR manager. One said, I want to have my own business. One said, I wanted to have something, engineer or something like that. And none of them became what they set their goal for. None of them, you know. And then the interviewer asked them, but are you happy that you did not achieve what you wanted to do? And they said, well, that is life. You know, took a different turn, but at least it's better than nothing. Then the same interviewer asked the parent, what did you plan for your children? One parent said, no, he must become a doctor. Another one said, no, I planned for my son to go for computer programming. And the third one said, no, she must go for law school. And then they interviewed the three kids of the three parents separately. And each one said, and all the three kids were crying. They were really crying in the video. One kid said, I feel that my parents are forcing me and they're not asking me what I want to do. And I'm so scared to disappoint them because I don't want to be a lawyer. I want to be a graphic designer. And the one whose parents said, he must be a computer programmer. He said, I'm afraid to tell my mom because she's just a single mother and so on and so forth, but I really want to be, you know, and what did he say? Interior designer or something very interesting. So all three of them had different fields, you know, different from what the parents said. So the interviewer recorded the three kids, what they were saying they wanted to be that is different from what the parents said. And they let the parents watch it. And the parents couldn't, and I saw the video. The first reaction with the parents was like, oh, disappointment. No lawyer, no computer programmer, you know, no doctor. But when they saw their child crying, the parents said, do what you want to do. That is called sweet surrender. That is called sweet surrender. When we surrender to the service to make the other person happy, it becomes sweet. That is sweet surrender. Sometimes we think that we got everything figured out. I'm sure each one of us here can definitely, we all have a story, I'm sure, that whatever we have planned to do, it never turned out that way. I was remembering speaking to Swana Goranga, I think about 3 years ago, during COVID, actually. And I think at that time, he was asking me about both my girls, you know, what they were doing in college. So I said what they were doing, and he said, Mataji, that's a very different field. I said, yeah. I said, why? He says, because Indians always go for IT. Standard market. It's either IT or engineering or computer programming, standard market, you know? And neither of my girls are doing that. And I said, well, you became an IT, you wanted to. He says, no, Mataji, I don't want to become, I had no choice. That's not sweet surrender. Krishna has given us the free will to choose to allow us to become a servant. But we forget that we don't give that choice to our own children to allow them to blossom who they're supposed to be. Let them grow to be what they want to be, you know, rather than planning their blueprint. Like for me, I remember my dad, even my husband can tell you, my father planned my whole blueprint and I destroyed it. I did. He wanted me to become a doctor. Of course I'm not, the whole world knows that. He wanted me to get married at the age of 32 or 34, I think. He had my whole life blueprint. He wanted me to go to college in, I think it was Georgia, then from there go to California, then from there go to Philippines, get my doctorate, then come back, and then work in a hospital in Maryland, and then get married at 34. I completely demolished it. I got married when I was 21, and I'm not a doctor. Krishna has his own plans. Whatever we plan never turns out to be that way. Because Krishna is saying, surrender, give it up. Shri Nitai Gaurachandra ki jai, Jagannatha Subhadra ki jai. So Krishna is saying is the more we make our own plans, the more it's going to get changed. That's just how it's going to happen. The more we make our own plans, the more it's going to get changed. So that's why Krishna is saying, abandon everything. Just give it up. Because the more we hang on to it, it's just going to give us misery. Just completely give it up. You know? Next slide. If we read the previous verse, 1866, Krishna is declaring his love. Krishna is actually declaring his love in that verse. If we read it very carefully, 1864, Krishna is saying, actually, Achyut, you want to read the Sanskrit? Read the English.
Because you are my very dear friend, I'm speaking to you, my supreme instruction, the most confidential knowledge of all. Hear this from me, for this is for your benefit.
Would you call it love or not? Krishna is saying, you are my dear friend. Even though he's speaking to Arjuna, but he's telling us, I care for you so much. You are my dear friend. So I'm giving you the most confidential knowledge. The only person that will give us the most confidential information is someone who truly loves us. If we think about it. If I were to tell you something that is for your benefit, it's because why? I care for you. Right? If I tell you something that is for your well-being, why would I say it? Because I care for you. So Krishna is saying it's for your benefit. He's showing his love. He's literally declaring his love by saying, you're my dear friend. I'm giving you the supreme instruction. The highest of the highest. The most confidential knowledge. It's your benefit. 4 statements. If anyone hears that 4 statements, we're going to say, this must be juicy. It's for me. This must be juicy. That means you really care. If I come and tell Nitya Gopal, Prabhu, I really care for you. This is the best, highest instruction. It's the highest knowledge. It's for your benefit. You're going to say, please tell me, Mataji. Because you know I care for you. That's love. Right? So Krishna is declaring his love to us in 4 different phrases. And then he goes on to say in the next verse, always think of me, become my devotee, worship me, offer homage to me. You will come to me without fail. I promise. Not only did he declare, but he gave his promise. That you are my dear friend. He gave his promise. So he's given us the highest knowledge. He's given us the supreme instruction. Right? And he has told us, you just do this and you'll come to me without fail. I promise. If anyone says I promise, it's like, swear to God, hope to die, as they say in America, I think. It's a promise. Krishna is promising us. That's his love. Like we know, it's Christmas time, right? 'Tis the season. Giving and sharing. Kids, this is when children have their wish list. I've been good all year. Are you in Santa's good list? What is that? Naughty list or nice list and good, whatever that list, huh? Naughty and nice, good and nice, okay. Of course, the kid will say I was good because they know they get a gift, even though they were naughty. we know that, right? As parents. But still, as parents, what do we tell our children? I promise I'll give you this gift. And we fulfill the promise. Why? Because we love our child. Same thing. Krishna is giving us the promise. Why? Because he's declaring his love. Just do this. Without fail, you'll come to me. I promise, because you are my dear friend. Now the question is, why is it that we really have a lot of challenges to take shelter of the Lord? Why do we, what is blocking us? What is the hindrance? Next. Very nice quote. The tendency in this world is that something has to thoroughly shake us up before we take shelter of the Lord. It'll shake us up until we feel that we can't stand on our own feet. Damdar is thinking that he can relate to it. He's giving a big smile ear to ear. It'll shake us up. And then we run to the Lord. And we lay our head on the Lord's feet and say, I don't know what to do. That is human nature. Unfortunately, sadly, we have to be shaken up to run to Krishna. If we don't get shaken up, we're very comfortable. Everything is going beautiful. The sun is going to wake up tomorrow, going to rise, and I'm going to see the sun, right? And the sun is going to set, and I'm going to see the stars. It's all going to be beautiful until something shakes us up and we run to Krishna. And until we learn to run to the Lord, we will always be shaken up. Something will be thrown in our faces to make us realize, good or bad, we should run to the Lord. Good or bad, we should take shelter of Krishna. Not just only in bad times. That's why there's a very nice quote, I think many quotes by Srila Prabhupada, by Prabhupada says, sometimes people pray, dear Lord, I have to ask my husband, what is that prayer, the Lord's Prayer, the first line? I'm a bad Christian.
You mean our Father?
Give us our, what's that?
Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name.
The other line. See, I was raised Christian, but I even forgot my own prayer. How sad is that, right? Not a good example.
Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth.
The bread.
Oh, give us today our daily bread.
Thank you. Give us our daily bread. That one, right? We always, the people pray, give us our daily bread. He is giving us bread. He is giving us rice. But are we grateful? Are we still taking shelter of the Lord? What if the Lord doesn't give us bread? Then we'll say, oh God, you're so bad? People think that. Generally, people think, you haven't given me what I want, so you're not listening to my prayers. No, the Lord is there. The Lord says, Krishna says, I will give you when the time is right. I will give you when it is right. Like Prabhupada gives another example. Every couple, when they get married, especially the women, they expect a child in 9 months. Right? But they expect, okay, next month I should get pregnant. Nowadays, that is a struggle. Some women, it takes 5 years. Some take 10. I know a couple has been 20 years and they still can't get a child. No matter what treatment they have tried. It's the Lord's will. There's not something wrong. It's the Lord's will. It just happens. The Lord knows what's best for us. We always think, I got everything figured out. I know what I want. This is what I want. And I should have this. And the Lord might block it. And we'll say, oh Krishna, you know what? You're not there. You're not hearing my prayers. Or we'll say, oh, no, that person put bad eye, or this eye, or evil eye, or good eye, or whatever eye. We have all kinds of speculations. No, it's the Lord's will. The Lord will decide what is best for us and what's not best for us. Because the Lord can see the future. We cannot see the future. We forget that part. When we think, but I want it, because I know I can manage it. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. But Krishna knows what's going to happen tomorrow. That's why he blocks opportunity. That's why he says no. So here, it's, that is the tendency of the human nature. We have to be shaken up to really, 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 really remember Krishna. And we run to Krishna. And when all the needs are met, okay, I've got my needs met, okay, Krishna, I'll see you after 1 month. Right? And then again something happens. Run to Krishna. And after that, all good. Chutti, vacation time. This is Sunday, oh my God, okay, Krishna, I gotta come to you again. It's human nature. It really is human nature, and it's really, really, really sad. And then we wonder why we go through so many challenges. Because Krishna is reminding us, I am here. Come to me, and I will relieve you. Come to me. That's why we have all these issues. Krishna wants us to abandon everything and surrender to him. Now, of course, the million-dollar question is how to surrender. That was the title of the first slide, right? How to surrender to God. So there are 6 limbs of surrender, Sharanagati, which is very, very, very popular. Many of us have heard it many, many, many times. But sometimes we forget. And that's why we always, periodically we bring it up as a reminder, because we tend to forget. Again, it's Kali Yuga minds. When we get caught up in daily activities, we forget what it means to surrender. So the 6 limbs of surrender, Sharanagati, the first one is accepting things favorable for executing devotional service. What is favorable for devotional service? We do that. If we accept the favorable things for devotional service, it's one limb of surrender. And we will go into what are they and what they are not. The next limb is rejecting things that are unfavorable for devotional service. What is not favorable? We don't do. Because in order to surrender to Krishna, it involves devotional service. It doesn't only involve the chanting and the reading and kirtan. It involves devotional service. Actually, this but it doesn't. So engaging in devotional service is part of the surrendering process. Number 3, the third one is always believe firmly in the Lord's protection. Always believe that the Lord is there to protect us. There's one pastime. Every now and then I remember the pastime because it's such a reminder for me as also, how much the Lord is present and how much we have to remember the Lord to believe of His presence. Vishnupada Prabhu gave this example when in one of our Bhagavad classes about a year or 2 ago. He said that when he was in New York, this was in the early 70s, he was finishing his service and he was going on the metro train, subway, from the temple back to his apartment, and he had, I think at $5, whatever money he had left, he paid for the ticket for the subway train. He got off the train, and as he was walking to the lift to go upstairs, 2 guys came behind him with gunpoint, with a gunshot. And they told him, "Give me all your money." And he says, "I don't have any money." He says, "Give me your wallet." He says, "I don't have anything. It's empty," because he paid his last money he had for the ticket to go back to the apartment from the temple. And one guy had a gun here, I think another one on the head or something, and he gave his wallet, and it was empty. And the guy didn't believe him. So immediately, Vishnupada Prabhu screamed, Nrsimhadev! And the guys got so scared they ran away. And I asked Vishnupada Prabhu, I said, Prabhu, what made you think of Nrsimhadev at that time, and how did you get that deep faith? He says, Anasuya, I just followed what Prabhupada said. I just called Nrsimhadev when I screamed and they ran away. And I was like, wow. But of course, it's because he believed in his guru. To know that Nrsimhadev actually exists, for him to call that out. So we should, this is one of the third limb of surrender, is to firmly believe that the Lord is protecting us. The Lord is always protecting us. Even if it's not going our way. See, sometimes we think, when it's going our way, Krishna is protecting me. When it's not going our way, Krishna, you're not protecting me. Right? We all have that. That's the human nature. If it's going my way, yes, Krishna, you are present. You're alive. You're protecting me. Yes, you exist. If it's not going our way, Krishna, where are you when I need you? He is there. That's why he blocked it. But we don't see the goodness in something bad. We just see bad and bad. But the Lord is always protecting us, whether it's good or bad. Next, the fourth limb is depend on the mercy of the Lord. Nothing happens on our own power, as we say. Everything is Krishna. Getting from point A to point B is Krishna. You know, when we get into the car, we just drive. Automatically, we just turn the ignition, we just drive and go to office. Yes, I got to office. You know, we come back home. Yes, I got home. You know, like today, I was driving with my husband. People were driving. It's the Christmas season. People were driving crazy. Truck drivers were going crazy because they have to get from point A to point B to deliver the goods. So I'm sure they're running late, they're running behind schedule, they've got to get from point A to point B, people are driving crazy. And each time, all I can say is, Krishna, this is, help us, this is getting crazy on the highway. We depend on the mercy of the Lord. Good or bad, we always depend on the mercy of the Lord. And the more we develop the mentality of wanting to depend on the mercy of the Lord, the more it becomes a habit for us to believe that I cannot do anything on my own. I need the mercy of the Lord. It becomes a habit. The fifth limb is, I have no interest separate from the interest of the Lord. Whatever the Lord is interested in, that's my interest. If Krishna is not interested, I'm not interested. Whatever the Lord wants, right? Like, again, a very, grihastha example. And I think it's common with women, with wives and husbands, I think. When the husband doesn't like some particular dish, the wife don't cook. Whatever the husband is interested, I'll cook that. Right? And sometimes, sadly, it'll come to the point where even whatever the wife likes, they'll give it up. Because the husband doesn't like it. Interest, right? Or if the wife doesn't like something that the husband does, the husband will be, you know what, my wife doesn't like it, I'm not going to get it. Like if the wife likes just, red roses and not yellow roses, just buy her red. She doesn't like yellow roses. It's not my interest. Little things like that. So if we can do that much for our spouses or for our children, why not for Krishna? Take it to the next level. What is pleasing to Krishna? What interests Krishna? Let me do what interests Krishna as opposed to what interests me. And the more we do what interests Krishna, the more it becomes sweeter. Because we are already used, right, to doing things for our husbands. What the husband likes, we do. What he doesn't like, we do. We do it for the wife. What the wife, we do. What the wife doesn't like, we do. Like, I don't know if this exists now. Probably not, because we're very advanced, with the women. But anyway, in my mother's time, I'm talking about almost 50 years ago, my mother will only wear particular saris that my father likes. And he likes blue, so she also likes blue. Before she got married, she liked pink. After she got married, she liked blue because my father likes blue. So all the saris were blue in the closet. Naturally, sweet surrender, right? So she'll only wear saris that my dad likes. And the saris that he doesn't like, she won't wear it. She'll wear when he's not home. Sacrifice of love. So if we can apply that same concept in Krishna consciousness, it becomes even sweeter. It becomes very, very, very sweet. We just gotta take it up to the next level, you know. The last limb is to be meek and humble. Meek, I give the other meaning, means submissive. To be meek and humble. So the process of surrendering is telling the Lord, I am your servant. Do unto me as you will. I am your instrument. Do unto me as you will. Whatever pleases you. I am your servant. And a servant should always be humble. The servant cannot be the master. The servant is always humble. And that is the mood of surrender. Now, if we look at the first two is always the questions that always come up. And what is favorable, right? Next slide. What is favorable in devotional service? Number one is be enthusiastic. Be enthusiastic. And if we cannot be enthusiastic, you know how to fix that? Anyone knows how to fix that? Fake it. Fake it. Fake it till you get it. You've heard that phrase before? Fake it till you get it. If you fake enthusiasm, it's going to become a habit. You just naturally become enthusiastic. It just happens. The more we act enthusiastic, we will become enthusiastic. And if you want a double dose, hang on with devotees who are enthusiastic. But we have to ask ourselves, do I want to be enthusiastic or do I want to be morose? If you want to be always and sad and gloomy like today, my 3 girls were so gloomy because, they operate by the weather outside, unfortunately. So these 3 girls, both my daughters and Bhavya, around 1:30 they said, Ma, it's gloomy. Mataji, it's gloomy. I said, what do you want me to do? That's the rain, Lord Indra. Go talk to Lord. Don't come talk to me. It's raining. I said, it's better rain than snow. And they were like, we gotta do something. And they were just lying on the couch like as if they could beat it up or something, right? Both the girls. So they said, okay, we're gonna go out. I said, fine, go. And one of them, they came back and they were fine. They had to do something to make themselves enthusiastic. Something. But thank God all 3 of them were a little wild. So it kind of rubbed off on them. Yeah, so if you want to be enthusiastic, hang out with those that are enthusiastic. If you want to be happy and jumping all the time, hang out with those who are going to make you happy and jump all the time. That is Krishna consciousness. Because in Goloka Vrindavan, in the spiritual, no one is sad. Everybody is enthusiastic. There isn't a moment of sadness in the spiritual, not a moment. Everybody is enthusiastic and waiting to serve Krishna. That's the mood we have to develop. Next. Endeavor with confidence. Keep endeavoring. I want to do better. I want to do better. I really want to grow. I really want to learn. I really want to grow in my Krishna consciousness. I really want to grow in my devotional service. Keep endeavoring. I always use this example. Many of us have gone to college and we endeavored for that bachelor's degree. Whether we had to burn the midnight candle, whether we had to sleep 2 hours, whether we had to do fasting for 24 hours, whether we had to skip breakfast, lunch, dinner to get that course, we endeavored. Right? We all endeavored. We never gave up to work hard. Sleepless nights, lack of food, right? What do you call it? Dark circles around the eyes. Probably wearing glasses. We endeavored and we wanted to get through that degree. We need to apply that same endeavor in Krishna consciousness. That same endeavor, that drive, as they say, that push. We need to apply that same endeavor to grow in Krishna consciousness. Next. At the same time, be patient. Isn't that contradictory? Endeavor, but be patient. Think about your school life. Think about your college life. Did you not endeavor, but still have to be patient? To make sure that you understood what you were learning? To make sure that you understood that you were able to score an A? You had to be patient. It's a learning process. That is one of the favorite principles. We have to be patient in Krishna consciousness. Nothing is going to happen overnight. I definitely can say nothing happens overnight. Those of us that have been practicing for years, it doesn't happen overnight. It's a bumpy road that we grow and we learn. But it's the patience and the tolerance that will teach us, whoa, that was worth it. That bumpy ride was worth it. My father used to always tell me, if you want to get to the gates of God, don't walk the road, don't walk the smooth road. Walk the bumpy roads. And one time I asked him why. I was very little. This was, I think, even before I even joined Krishna consciousness. I asked him why. I said, why, Daddy? He said, because if the road is smooth, you will not learn your lessons. You won't appreciate, and you'll take it for granted. And once you get there, you'll drop it. But if the road is bumpy, you get pricked, you get chopped, you get torn, you get bleeding. You will learn your lessons, and those lessons you will carry throughout your life. That is patience. And that is what's going to help us to surrender and grow in Krishna consciousness, is the patience. And I personally, humbly speaking, in my Krishna consciousness, my husband and I the roads were very, I can write a book on it. I think we should, I don't know, but no, it's too scary. Very bumpy. Extremely bumpy. But actually, when I look back, I'm glad. Because I learned lessons from it. If it was smooth, I would have taken it for granted. Extremely bumpy. So be patient. Fourth, act according to the regulative principles. There's a do's and don'ts, in executing devotional service. There are do's and there are don'ts. What we should do and what we should not do. For example, there's a certain, like if we learn, very simple basic example, cooking. There's a process how to cook. Right? First you put the oil, then you put the spices, then you put the vegetables, You don't put the vegetables first and you put the spices at the end. There's a process. There are the rules and regulations, unless the boys throw everything in one pot and do the instant pot style. I don't know. But, but there's a step-by-step process. I see Kukushal smiling. Must be instant pot, right? Okay. But that's a step-by-step process, right? Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. Let's take another example. How many of you have taken chemistry in college? We all have. Many of us taken chemistry in college. Did the women did take chemistry in college? Yes. Okay, so you took it. So if you, and we have a chemist here, so I can boldly speak in front of the retired chemist. If there's a chemistry procedure, the practicals, if you miss one chemical, the end result is not that. Am I right? Yeah? I got it right? Okay. I have to ask him, he's the professor. That's the thing. Same thing. There are rules and regulations that we follow. If we follow that, we achieve the sweetness of devotional service. I was just talking to Deb this morning, this afternoon, and about taking care of Prabhupada's Vyasa's son. And I was telling her, in my early years of Krishna consciousness, in 95 when I moved to Gita Nagari, my first service for about 6 months to 1 year, I think, was to every day wipe Prabhupada's Vyasa's son, change his water cup, change his jug, and japa time, put on his glasses, and put on his japa mala. Every morning. Yes, every morning. And then after Bhagavatam class, I had to sweep all the 3 floors. If you all have been to Gita Nagari, the old ashram building, all the 3 floors I had to sweep. And at the end, sweep and mop. Sweep and mop. And after done, I had to go tell my Mother Kalini, who was my senior proper disciple, and she'll come to a spot check. He said, Anasuya, I see a dust bowl. I have to go back and sweep the whole floor again. Talk about rules and regulation. Many of us today won't do that. I can hands down say it. We'll say, oh my God, that is headache. But when I look back, it taught me the importance of cleanliness. It taught me the importance of this is Krishna's house. She's teaching me something, how it means to be clean for Prabhupada. I did it for 1 year. I think at the time I was 23 years, I think, 23 years old, something like that. I just got married. Yeah, I was very young, and that's what I did. I did it for 1 year. Every time, without fail. When I look back, and Mother Kalini was strict. We don't have that so much now, but I really miss those, but she was strict. And why was she strict? To help us to grow spiritually. She's helping me to do the favorable principles for devotional service. That's why she was strict. So it's very important that we realize that how important it is to act according to the regular principles. The next, give up non-devotee association. This is always a $1 million question for all of us because we all got work. We deal with non-devotees, right? So let me twist it around. The key point is this, you give your association. You don't take their association. That's all this is saying. In our working life, we cannot ignore our co-workers, our boss. They're all non-devotees. We know that. I know. I work, and I know. But the important point is, don't take their association. You give your association. That is the key point. In my office, now I work from home, but when I used to work in the office, people cuss like anything. Ninita Gaura Chandra ki jai, Chandra Subhadra ki jai. We all go to the office, and when I used to, people cuss like anything. And that used to bother me a lot. I mean, a lot, because I have never cussed in my life. So for me, that word was very negative. So what I used to do is every time someone in my office uses a foul language, I just chant the Maha Mantra one time. By the end of the day, I've done 1 round. That's how many times they cuss in the office. Because why? I'm trying to check myself from not taking their association. That's what that means. You don't take theirs. You give your association. That's the other side of it. And the last point that is favorable principles is follow in the footsteps of the previous acharyas. What our acharyas do, just follow that. We don't have to reinvent the wheel. It's already there. Just follow it. Don't have to mimic, don't have to switch it, don't have to translate it. It's everything is there. Completely, simply laid out. Just follow it and everything is good. Now, what is unfavorable? That is the key point. The first one is overeating and collecting funds. Funds more than required. You know, Prabhupada has used this example, right? A businessman has made $1 profit. Oh, I'm very happy. Next day, let me try $10 profit. 1 week, I got $10 profit. I'm very happy. Well, if I make $10 profit, let me try $100 profit. What's happening? Inquiring more. He's not satisfied. He just wants more and more and more and more. So the consciousness becomes, you know, there's this old song. Anyway, forget it. That's from the 19 John Travolta song, but forget it. Let it be. But there's this really old song about money, you know. Just keep on getting the money because money is the honey. That is very unfair because when our consciousness is in money, we can't attract Krishna. There's this really nice movie. What's it called? It's a Hindi movie, but it's made by ISKCON television. No. That's another one. I have to think about it. It has this good actor named Seth Narayan speaking. That's the only thing that comes to my mind. Oh my God. It really depicts that collecting funds is more than required. What's it called?
This is life.
This is life. Yehi hai zindagi. It's a beautiful Hindi movie. Literally sanctioned by ISKCON television. Completely Krishna conscious. It really depicts the life of a poor man, got so involved in money, got so good in money, at the end, he lost everything. And Krishna was coming and telling him, but this is what you want, this is what you want, this is what you want, this is what you want. Amazing movie. It used to be in VHS, which I still have the copy with me. I don't think it's on whatever now, I have to check, but it really depicts that. It really depicts that, you know. And another point that I wanted to talk about, acting according to regular principles. That is favorable. One example that I wanted to touch upon that I think is very important that we understand, because I've had few people come and ask me this, you know, and that is, why do ISKCON temples, why is it that Matajis, when they cook in the kitchen, they only wear saris or gopi skirts? Why do we say no to Punjabi suits? I know Mathura knows the answer because she and I talked about it. But why is it that we do not use Punjabi suits in ISKCON temples? Anyone has the answer? The youth should know that. Why is it that we don't do that? Do any of you know why? Not even the men?
Don't ask us, we don't wear Punjabi.
Okay, he says the men don't use Punjabi suits. Okay, that's a valid answer. Okay, the women. Because the Punjabi suit is from, the origin of Punjabi suit is from the Mughal Empire. That is not Vaishnava attire. That's why. Number 2, if you go to any Bhagavad books, you will never see Radharani, Yashoda Mai, or any of the gopis in Punjabi suits. Look at the pictures. We have one over there. We have one of Radharani over there. They don't wear Punjabi suits. They're wearing saris. They're wearing gopi skirts. That's the Vaishnava attire. Act according to the regulative principles. That's the reason why we say in ISKCON temples we do not use Punjabi suits, because it is not a Vaishnava attire. It's a Mughal Empire attire. That's where it came from. So now we have a learning lesson. Why it's important to act according to regular principles. Go back to the unfavorable. The second point is over-endeavoring mundane things that are difficult to obtain. We over-endeavor for something material, and we don't get it. And then we wonder why we don't get it, because the Lord is saying it's unfavorable. When we find ourselves over-endeavoring over something that is so difficult to get, and it doesn't come, Krishna is saying it's an unfavorable activity. Don't do it. Give it up. Just surrender. That's how the Lord speaks. Third, gossips, mundane talks. Gossip breaks communities. It breaks relationships. That is the only part of the body that has no bones, is the tongue. It breaks relationships. It is very, very, very unfavorable for Krishna consciousness. Extremely unfavorable. Gossip is very unhealthy. Next, practicing scriptural rules whimsically, meaning we should know why we're doing what we're doing. You know, sometimes, oh, my mommy said so, I'm doing it. I knew a co-worker in my office, and she was Brahmin actually. And she would do different prayers during the year. And I asked her, why do you do it? I don't know. Mom said so, I do it. What's the meaning? I don't know. Mom said so, I do it. That's whimsical. We should know why we are doing what we are doing. If it's no meaning, then it's like playing with Barbie dolls, you know, and saying, okay, I'm doing it because you're a doll, but you don't know what I'm doing for you. It is just like almost like playing toys. So we cannot practice scriptural rules because it's passed down with no meaning. We need to know why we are doing it. And we shouldn't do it for whimsical reasons. If I do it, then I'm going to get a 6-figure salary. Or I'm going to get a big house. Or I'm going to get, you know, a Benz. Okay, now it's not, Benz is nothing. Now it's a Tesla. It's a big thing now, right? Is that a big thing now? I don't know. But whatever is the latest car, that's what it is. So we should follow the rules for our growth, not for something material. The second last one is associating with worldly people who are not interested in Krishna consciousness. The more we hang out with non-devotees and take their association, the more it becomes unfavorable. We give, we don't take. So the more we are hanging out with non-devotees and taking their association, and they're very worldly minded and they're not Krishna conscious, the more it's going to pull us down and down and down and down. I mean, really, really down. That's very unfavorable. And the last is we are greedy for mundane achievements. Going back to the first point, more greed, and more greed. Very unfavorable, because we get consumed in that. We literally get consumed in wanting to do better in material life, not in spiritual life. That is not going to make us surrender to the Lord. So if we can follow the favorable and the unfavorable principles and the 6 limbs that we talked about in Sharanagati, guess what happens? Next slide. We can go easily to the feet of the Lord. And that is the only business of a perfect human being. That's our business. We have no other business. Our business is abandon all varieties of religion and surrender to the Lord. And He will protect us. But to do that, we need to follow the 6 limbs of surrender. And to also know what is favorable and unfavorable. And once we practice that over and over and over and over and over again, surrendering to the Lord is very, very easy. Because that is the only business for a perfect human being. And if you see the next slide, very famous pastime. Draupadi. She threw her hands up in the air. Even her husbands couldn't protect her. Can you imagine? Let me ask the wives, if your husband cannot protect you, what would you guys do? Divorce your husband? Probably, right? She threw up her hands. to the Lord. You're my only, in helplessness. We have to come to that stage of helplessness to allow the Lord to take full charge of our lives. And once we do that, the beautiful ending is, how many of us want this? Isn't it beautiful? So beautiful. We want this. We want Krishna to embrace us, welcome us in the spiritual world, meet Him. But the process is there. The 6 limbs of surrender, Sharanagati, and the favorable and the unfavorable principles will lead us to this beautiful hug by the Supreme Lord. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai! Any questions? Any comments? Any doubts? Takeaways? Yes, Kushal.
My voice is very much audible without. I just wanted you to elaborate a little bit more on like giving association about taking it.
Very nice question. When we say we don't take the association, meaning is whatever bad things they are doing, we don't take it. For example, when they say if you hang out with a smoker, even though you're not a smoker, you become a smoker. You're taking the association. Or when they go out to the bar, even though you don't drink, but you go to the bar, you become a drinker. Because you've taken the association. So when we hang out with people and we do what they do, we have taken the association. We can hang out with others, co-workers, colleagues, whatever, but still do what we do, but don't do what they do. And another thing that I used to do in my office, as we always have potluck, So I would always make sure that I take prasadam. What they cook, I won't eat. But what I cook, they will eat. So I'm giving them my association. But I'm not taking what they're eating. You see? Or even when we go out, even when we eat, say for example, we go to a restaurant, they will order what they want to order, but I'll order something that is pure vegetarian. Or I'll say, this, no that, or whatever. So we don't pick their bad habits. We give them our good habits. Make sense? Very nice question though. Yes, Ashutosh Prabhu.
Thank you for a nice lecture. Can you discuss more on Lord's, dependent on Lord protection as well as mercy?
That's a very deep point, yes. Depending on the Lord's mercy and protection means that we firmly believe that the Lord is there to protect us. And in order for us to build that firm belief that Krishna, you are here to protect me, we have to first have faith in the Lord. And to have that faith, we have to hang out, or that's a associate, let me put a better word, with devotees who will help us build that faith. For example, if you're a medical doctor, if you wanted to be a medical doctor, you had to go to medical school. You had to hang out, be with medical students, medical professors, science teachers. That gave you the faith and the belief that I can do this. I can go to medical school and I can become a doctor. But it was based on your association. So in order for us to really build firm faith that the Lord is there to protect us, we have to first have faith in the Lord. Yes, Krishna, you are there, thick or thin. You are there to protect us. Help me build that faith. But to build that faith, we just can't say help me build that faith and that's it, the job is done. We have to do our work too. We have to associate with devotees who have that faith so that they can, it rubs off on us, kind of a thing, so that we can also build that faith and we can say, oh, that's This is what it actually means to believe in the Lord. This is what it means. It's Krishna's mercy. It's Krishna's arrangement. You know. So if you step back, it comes down to the faith. And to build a faith, we have to be in the right association to build that faith. That the same faith you had of becoming a medical doctor, the same faith someone had that I could become a lawyer. They had that firm belief. They had that endeavor, that confidence, that greed, that drive, and became one. We have to apply that same concept in Krishna consciousness. I hope that helped. Thank you. Anything on the women's side? I hear it from the men, but I don't see it from the women. I don't know whether the women are asleep or awake. Preeti is awake because she's smiling, so is Divya and Mathura and Deb. So I want to hear if the others are awake. Any questions, any comments, any reflections? Because I can call on you too to see how much we have heard. Those who are smiling, I know they have heard it. All good? All listened? Shamari, what's your takeaway? It all boils down to association. You know, sometimes we think it's a light matter, but it really isn't. Association is very, 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 very critical. We cannot take it lightly. I have seen so many situations, it just takes literally one wrong association and we're done. That's it. Tata bye-bye, as they say. Just one wrong association. So we have to be very careful. You know, we are all parents here. As parents, we watch where our kids go, whose house they go. Why do we do that? Mothers, why do we do that? To warn. You want to make sure, are they in the right household? Are they in the right family? Do they do any hanky-panky stuff that's going to influence my child? Are they in the right... Yeah, we are concerned. We're very concerned that our children are not going to the wrong homes, having wrong association. Because we are protecting our children. Same thing applies to us. We have to make sure that we are protecting our Bhakti Lata Beach, our devotional creeper, to make sure, am I in the right association? Am I getting the not only right, is it helping me to grow? Right is there, but it's not shop close. Dukan is not band. Am I growing? Am I growing association? Am I learning? Do I see myself growing up? Am I still stagnant? So it's not only right association, but it's also, am I growing? Am I learning? Do I see myself from level 1 to level 2? Or level 2 to level 3? We have to be growing all the time. My guru used to always say, we should not be stagnant. If we are stagnant, that means we are lazy. We have to be growing. We have to be growing. We have to be challenging ourselves and growing every time. Because there is no end for growing. It's a limitless ladder. Limitless ladder. Yes, go ahead.
Hare Krishna. Please step on the page.
Jai Shri Prabhupada.
So, thank you for that. We're talking about some things, especially about over-endeavoring. And of course, in this world now, we live based on the finances too, which is important. But see, the Bhagavad tells a story about finance. And I'd like to share that story. Maybe this is laughing. So, the story is about a person with the intention of making money in business, but the intention was not a good intention. So here's the story. The very poor man, he was selling pots. And so he had one pot, and he was out there trying to sell it. So I'm going to sell this pot, and I'll make a profit. And from the profit, I'll buy 2 pots. And sell the 2 pots, and then from the profit, I can buy more pots and so on. and in the future I'll become rich from selling the pots. Then I'm going to marry. Now listen to this guy. I'm going to marry, and my wife has to be very obedient to me because I'm rich. And if my wife disobeys me, I'm going to kick her. And when you kick like that, then she kicked the one part that he wanted to start the business with. He kicked the pot and broke the pot. So Krishna gave him instant karma. So you have to have the right consciousness if you want to make money. I just wanted to know that. Hare Krishna.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you so much. Thank you. Hope this benefited. We are speaking about Bhagavad Gita because this is a very important month, Gita month, Prabhupada's month, Prabhupada Marathon. So this is the conclusion of surrendering, just as Krishna told Arjuna is meant for all of us. And this one last point is when Arjuna asked Krishna, Arjuna asked her, what is Dharma? He did not ask, what is my Dharma? He asked, what is Dharma? Which is a very universal question. It's for all of us. Just want to throw that out. Thank you so much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. We'll get ready for Guru Puja Arti. Hari Bol.
ISKCON founder Charge Srila Prabhupada ki. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivacharya Gaur Bhaktavind ki. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyam Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan ki. Vrindavan Dham ki. Mathura Dham ki. Navadvip Dham ki. Jagannathpuri Dham ki. Jagannath Swami ki. Ganga Mai ki. Jamuna Mai ki. Tulsi Devi ki. Bhakti Devi ki. Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki. Samved Bhaktavind ki. Nitai Gaur Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the lotus feet of Shri Shri Guru and Mora. Namaste Narasimhaya.
की प्रहलाद महाराज की गौर प्रेमानंदे।
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. We will try that one more time. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Rama. Rama Rama. Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki. Nitya Gaurachandra ki. Jagannath Subhadra ki. Want to welcome the devotees to a Sunday program and thank you all so much for coming out and participating in the Prabhupada month, the Gita month, which was very, very important to Prabhupada. And beautiful book, amazing book. So we encourage devotees. If you have not been able to get a book that you can give out to a friend or drop it off at a doctor's office, there you go. We have Nitya Gopal on the stoves right now. When Nitya Gopal wakes up, we all have to wake up. And if you have a way to put a book in any, yes.
Little free libraries, like you can.
Oh,
request,
good one, good
You
one.
can request everyone.
Yes.
And
Thank-
they can even notify us that they have
Where the locations
Yeah.
are. Okay, got it. So we are trying to really meet our goal of giving out 200 Bhagavad Gitas by the end of this month. I think we are at 75.
78 now.
78. So we are almost halfway and we need help to really achieve our goal. And we're asking devotees if you have any way that you could share, either give it to a friend. If you're going to a doctor's office, there's a waiting room, you can drop it off there. Any place that has a waiting room it's a wonderful opportunity to put a Bhagavad Gita there. A beautiful opportunity, very easy. Don't have to talk, just leave it, stamp it, leave, that's it. Simple, no talking involved at all. So that's one opportunity. Another one is if you have a free little libraries, one of those little itty-bitty homes that you see on the streets. In some communities, they have something called free little libraries. And if you have that in your community, please do give us the location and the address and we'll be happy to place the book, the Bhagavad Gita, in those libraries. We did put some actually...
devotees can even take.
Or you can even do it. You don't have it, you can take the Bhagavad Gita here and put it in. We've already put it in one zip code.
Yeah.
In this area of the city of Harrisburg. So there are so many free little libraries all across the city. Quite a bit. And people just put any free books. For anything. It can be anything from devotional to Christian to fiction to novel, any book. It's for people just take it, read it, and put it back, As an easy way for us to give our books. And if you know of that, please take a book and put a book in that. And you'll be amazed how people just borrow, read, put it back. Borrow, read, put it back. Or borrow and take it and don't bring it back. That's also fine with us. And we can go for another book. So please, Nitya Gopal has this box ready. We really need everybody's help to really place this Bhagavad Gitas in any place that you see a waiting room, a free little library, even a library, even if you're taking your car to the mechanic, there are waiting rooms there, There are any place we can think of the box, out of the box, where there are waiting rooms, please do get a Bhagavad Gita so that we can put and achieve our goal of 200 by the end of the month. We are at 78 now and count 78 and we have 120, what's my math?
200.
Balance.
No, balance.
122?
Yeah.
My math goes out
Yeah.
after 5 p.m. Okay, good. So 122 books left. So please, if you can help us to achieve this goal, that would be awesome. Second announcement that we have is a quick update on the kitchen. It's still out of commission, by the way. And we are hoping that it will get done by the end of the month. The good news is, as we said last week, the floor is completed and it's done, finished. Now today the painting is done. So there's a new wall paint color in the kitchen. It looks so bright. I love it. So please, if you have time, check out the kitchen. So so the painting is done. This week we're going to have the plumbing done. The sink is going to get shifted and we're going to redo the plumbing and the pipes. So we hope that might take about a week. So we are hoping and that will be done by the end of the month. So we ask the devotees to please tolerate, be patient as we described in the class. Let's be patient and let's get this done properly, but we are getting there. Once the sink is done, then we'll get the stove hooked up. And then we have the exhaust to go. So we are almost 50% done, but the finished product is going to look really, really, really nice. So we can do definitely more cooking. We can even do more prasadam distribution. So that's the whole goal, is to get that kitchen to that level so we can do more for the service of Sri Prabhupada and Krishna. So hang in there. We're almost there. 2 more weeks, and we hope to get this kitchen up and going soon. Another announcement is this coming Friday is Gita Jayanti. Beautiful time for us to come together and actually recite the Bhagavad Gita in English. We're starting at 5:30 p.m. American Standard Time. I have to repeat that because we're going to start it on time and end it on time. It takes 3 hours to recite the whole Bhagavad Gita in English, and it's really powerful in English because we know what we are reciting and we know what it means. So that's the whole idea. You know, we don't want to recite a foreign language and don't know what it says. At least it is to me Sanskrit, but English is not. So please do join us this Friday, 5:30 to 8:30 in the temple. We'll recite the whole Gita in English, followed by prasadam. So please mark your calendars for that. And New Year's Eve, December 31st, the following Sunday, we are changing the New Year's Eve program from 7 to 12 as opposed to 4:30. We are still trying to work out the details. Hopefully we'll get it done the next few days, but it's going to be from 7 p.m. to midnight. And midnight is when we'll have the midnight arati. The altar will be open the whole time. And because Nitai Gaurachandra loves to dance with his devotees. That's their pastime. That's where they have one hand up, one hand down. They're in the dancing pose. And that's what they love to do. So please do block your calendars for New Year's Eve from 7 p.m. to midnight, and we'll have an awesome midnight arati. We'll have kirtan, we'll have prasadam, we'll have games. So trying to work out the details, so you will see more details coming up. Another 2 more announcements is January 1st. We have a special guest speaker. His Grace Kratu Prabhu will be in town. So he's coming on New Year's Day. It's going to be an evening program at 4:30. So he's going to start our new year. Perfect day, perfect way, perfect opportunity, perfect everything to start the new year with a Prabhupada disciple. Can't get anything better than that. It's really. So please do mark your calendar. We will send out the information by e-bulletin. New Year's Eve, 4:30 p.m. Monday evening at the temple. The following Sunday, we have another guest speaker, and that is our GBC, His Grace Anutama Prabhu. The following Sunday. So we have 2 Sundays of amazing guest speakers, and they are both Prabhupada disciples, so we are very fortunate to have such elevated senior devotees of Prabhupada coming out. So please do block your calendars for from now to January 7th. It's going to be a wonderful program, back to back to back. And before we conclude, I want to just share a little parental tip. If you want your kids to get engaged in kirtan, hold their hands and dance. That is a tip, because I see like some of the parents are struggling how to. Mother does a very good job. She gets the 2 boys and she holds their hand and goes, that's what you want to do. So follow her example, as we say. So if anyone is having a challenge to get their kids to participate in kirtan, very simple. Hold their hands and have them dance with you, and they will dance. And the more we do that, the more they will understand why we should dance in kirtan. They will not know if we don't teach them. We teach them by example. They're not going to pick it up automatically. So if you want your kid to really understand why we should dance in Aarti and Kirtan, you include them, you hold their hands and you dance with them. Worked with my kids. Of course, they're not kids anymore, but I worked with them. They're women now, but I'm just sharing whatever they taught me and I taught them. So I see some of us struggling. So that's one thing. And last thing is please, and a humble reminder, please put your shoes on the rack in the shoe room, because it's again looking like we just had a typhoon that came through. So please, not typhoon, sorry, what do you call that? Tornado, hurricane, whatever you want to call it. And it's, last week my shoes went missing. I don't know what happened to it, but finally I found it. I guess someone used it, I have no idea. That's what happens. When the shoes are all over, someone just takes whatever they can find and then you go home barefoot. Happened to me once. So let's be more attentive to take care and put our shoes on the rack, that this is Krishna's house. We want to keep Krishna's house neat and clean. Without further delay, I will have Ishika to do the prasad prayers.
घेऊ शकते लायब्ररीत कसं असंच जाऊन ठेवायचं फ्री लायब्ररी नाही मला हर्षी लायब्ररीमध्ये तसं द्यायचं कारण आमचं कसं माहिती आहे आम्ही इन्कम वगैरे करतो पण हे कसं मग त्यांना सांगायला लागतं की कसं आहे
लायब्ररी म्हणजे
हर्षी पब्लिक
okay.
So we can just keep it, right? Someone कोणीतरी वाचतं.
Right, sure. It's better to register in the system.
Okay.
Where each and every book is registered.
Right,
Even
right,
can
right.
search in the database will come up.
Right.
It said here, this is the books you now like to benefit of others.
म्हणजे असं रिलीजियस बुक म्हणून ते असं नाही म्हणत नाही.
Other books are so many.
So many are there, right? मी अजून एक त्या डॉक्टर ऑफिसमध्ये कनेक्ट करू त्यांना कसं घेऊन द्यायचं तिकडे
हां मॅगझिन असते
त्यांना सांगायला घेऊन द्यायचं
Om and